Good evening, everybody. You're watching Everything Weapons. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back with you here tonight on Friday. Big show. Well, guys, welcome to another video. Thanks for joining us today. We will be discussing every single possible grenade in World War II during 1933 to 1945. This is one of my most favorite topics, so yeah, I'm excited. Please keep in mind, guys, that this video will exclude rifle grenades, mines, and satchel charges, as I want to make separate videos on those sometime in the future. Explosive devices. Grenades are a very interesting topic, and there are tons of types. So let's get right to it, lads. Store Army style, come on. Oh wait, I almost forgot to mention every nation during World War II all created their own Molotov cocktails. If you do not know, Molotov cocktails are firebombs created with glass containers, filled of flammable liquid and a piece of clothing pushed in and tied around the bottle. These proved to be very effective, simple, quick, easy to make a bomb. However, Molotov cocktails have a significant failure rate due to their improvised nature, with some studies and historical accounts suggesting a failure to ignite or break on target in anywhere from around 10% to over 40% of cases. It all depends on how well they're made. How well built they were, and user experience determine the effectiveness. But do not make your own, as they are extremely illegal everywhere and very dangerous. Let's start off with the country I was born and raised in, live in, the United States of America. The Americans used a variety of hand and rifle grenades in World War II categorized by their function: fragmentation, offensive concussion; smoke and or signaling, chemical incendiary in practice; fragmentation, grenades MK2 and MK2A1, the pineapple. The most common U.S. hand grenade of the war. It was a defensive weapon with a cast iron grooved body to create fragments, although the grooves provided more grip than actual fragmentation effect. Mark III, MK3A1, and Mark IIIA2. These were cylindrical grenades with a large, high-explosive TNT filling, designed for clearing enclosed spaces like rooms and trenches through blast pressure, not fragmentation. They had a much smaller lethal radius than fragmentation grenades. Smoke and signaling grenades. ANM8 white smoke. HC, used for screening purposes, produced thick white smoke from hexachloroethane. M15 white phosphorus, WP, also known as Willie Pete. This grenade created a dense white smoke screen and had secondary incendiary and anti-personnel effects due to the burning phosphorus. EM16 colored smoke, originally available in multiple colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, black, later standardized to red, yellow, green, and violet. They were used for signaling and target designation. Mark 18. Colored smoke. Designated standard issue in September 1943, this purpose-designed smoke flare came in green, yellow, red, and violet. Mark I Mod 0 illuminating grenade. Produced during the war, these used a magnesium filler and a wick-type fuse for illumination. Chemical grenades. M1 frangible grenade, a glass bottle device, similar to a Molotov cocktail, that broke on impact. It could be filled with various chemical agents, including AC, hydrocyanic acid blood agent, CNS, tear gas solution, or M1, lewisite vesicant gas. M6, M6A1, M7, M7A1, riot control. Burning-type grenades are filled with irritant agents like CN or DM, designed to expel gas through emission holes. Incendiary grenades. M1 frangible grenade. Incendiary fillers. The M1 bottle was used with various incendiary fillers, including AW, phosphorus, rubber jawed gasoline mix, alcohol gasoline, GA, liquid or jellied gasoline, IM, and NP, naphtha palmate. An M14 TH3 thermite grenade, a purpose-designed incendiary that burned with extreme heat, molten iron, for destroying equipment and melting through engine blocks. Other grenades. T-13 impact grenade, Beano grenade, a limited-use impact detonating grenade that was reportedly issued to airborne units. British gammon grenade number 82, a canvas or stockinette pouch filled with plastic explosive that was issued to U.S. airborne forces. Next up, Great Britain. The English military used a variety of grenades during World War II. The primary hand grenade for general use was the number 36 M Mills bomb. Number 36M Mark I Mills bomb. The standard fragmentation grenade used extensively by the British Army throughout the war. It could be thrown by hand with a 4-second fuse or fired from a rifle using a cup discharger with a 7-second fuse. Grenade hand number 69. An offensive hand grenade with a plastic Bakelite case that produced a concussion effect rather than widespread fragmentation. This allowed it to be used more safely when the thrower was in the open or rapidly advancing, such as when clearing buildings. Grenade Hand Anti-Tank No. 73 Thermos Bomb. A simple anti-tank grenade consisting of a bottle-shaped container filled with high explosive. Grenade Hand Anti-Tank No. 74 ST Sticky Bomb. A grenade coated with a strong adhesive designed to stick to the side of an enemy tank before detonation. Grenade Hand Anti-Tank No. 75. Hawkins Grenade. Hawkins Mine. A versatile, flat pressure plate device that could be used as a hand-thrown grenade or placed on a road as an anti-vehicle mine. Grenade Hand No. 82 Gammon Bomb, a do-it-yourself hand grenade primarily issued to airborne forces. It used a cloth bag that could be filled with varying amounts of plastic explosive, depending on the target, e.g. half a piece to blow a door, 2 pieces for an anti-tank roll. Special Purpose Grenades Grenade, Hand No. 76, Special Incendiary. Contained white phosphorus and was mainly issued to the Home Guard as an anti-tank weapon or for creating smoke screens. Grenade Hand No. 77, white phosphorus, similar to the number 76, used as an incendiary and for signaling or screening purposes. Signal grenades, various numbers, including 42, 43, 45, 48, 52. Used for signaling purposes, producing colored smoke or stars for night use. Next up, let's discuss what grenades the Germans used during World War II. Germany utilized a variety of grenades during World War II encompassing high-explosive, anti-tank, smoke, and non-lethal types. The most common were the stick and egg grenades, hand grenades model 24, Stielhandgranate. The iconic potato masher stick grenade was the standard-issue offensive grenade for the German infantry throughout the war. It used a friction igniter and primarily relied on concussion, blast effect, rather than fragmentation. Fragmentation sleeves, known as splittering, were available to convert it into a defensive grenade if needed. Model 39 A-Hand Granate, egg hand grenade, a smaller defensive fragmentation grenade that was widely produced and often issued to Fallschirmjäger paratroopers. It was compact and used the same BZ-39 fuse assembly as the Model 43 stick grenade. Model 43 Stielhandgranate, a late-war simplification of the Model 24, designed for easier mass production. The hollow handle was replaced by a solid handle, and the fuse assembly was moved to the top of the warhead, making it a self-contained unit that could even be used without the handle if necessary. Model 17 Grenade. While primarily a World War I grenade, some stocks may have still been in use early in World War II. Volkshandgranate 45, a very late-war last-ditch effort grenade made from a simple cardboard can, highlighting material shortages towards the end of the conflict. Next up, specialized grenades used by Germany Naval Handgranate 39, NBHGR 39, a smoke-producing version of the stick grenade, used for creating smoke screens on the battlefield. Blenkerper 1H and 2H non-lethal smoke grenades consisting of glass bulbs filled with titanium tetrachloride and calcium chloride. When thrown, they would burst and create thick white smoke to temporarily blind vehicle crews and pillbox occupants. KHL, a magnetic-shaped charge grenade designed to be placed manually onto enemy armor to penetrate it. Next up now, Japan, and what the Japanese used a variety of grenades during World War II, many of which were designed for use as both hand grenades and projectiles for grenade launchers. Type 10 grenade, an early fragmentation grenade that could be hand-thrown or used with a Type 10 grenade mortar. Type 91 grenade, an improved version of the Type 10, designed to be used as a hand grenade, rifle grenade, or fired from the Type 89 knee mortar grenade discharger. It had a long 7 to 8 second fuse delay for use in launchers. Type 97 grenade, the standard dedicated hand grenade of the Imperial Japanese Army and Navy Special Naval Landing Forces from 1937 onward. It had a shorter 4 to 5 second fuse delay and no attachment point for a propellant base, unlike the Type 91. Type 99 grenade, Kiska type. Used as both a hand grenade and a rifle grenade, it had an integrated tail fin assembly for use with a spigot-type launcher. Type 23. Grenade, Another fragmentation grenade type, though less common in general discussions. Type 99 AT anti-tank grenade, a magnetic anti-tank high explosive HE grenade. Type 3 HEAT, high explosive anti-tank grenade, a conical shaped charge grenade with a hemp tail for stabilization when thrown against tanks. Type 4 ceramic grenade, a last-ditch crude hand grenade made of ceramic or porcelain due to metal shortages in the final year of the war. They had a simple, unreliable fuse mechanism. Type TB frangible gas grenade, a glass sphere filled with titanium tetrachloride that produced a smoke screen upon breaking. Type 98 grenade. The Japanese are also known to have encountered and copied the German Model 24 Stielhandgranate stick grenade. Many Type 91 grenades were modified in the field or factory by shortening the fuse to 4 to 5 seconds and welding small extensions to the body to prevent them from being used in grenade dischargers, essentially making them dedicated hand grenades, like the Type 97. Next up, the Canadian Army. Canada in World War II primarily used a variety of British-designed grenades, some of which were also manufactured in Canada. The specific grenades used evolved throughout the war as new types were developed and introduced into service. Fragmentation grenades. Grenade hand number 36M Mark I, Mills bomb, with Canadian-made versions produced by companies like Frost and Wood. This was the most common fragmentation hand grenade used by Canadian forces throughout the war. The M designation indicated it was waterproofed for use in Mesopotamia and later general service in wet conditions. Grenade hand number 74 ST sticky bomb. Grenade hand number 82 gammon bomb. Grenade hand number 73 thermos bomb. Grenade hand number 69. Grenade hand number 77. The Canadians sometimes created their own improvised grenades nicknamed jam tin grenades by filling tins with explosives, metal scraps, and a fuse, highlighting resourcefulness in the field. Next up, Italy. The Italians used several types of hand grenades during World War II. The primary models, all designated Modella 35, were impact-fused offensive grenades, often nicknamed Red Devils, by British troops due to their common red coloration. 35, an impact-fused hand grenade made of thin metal construction, containing 63 grams of TNT, OTO model. 35, the smallest and lightest of the mod. SRCM model. 35, this model featured the most complex mechanism with an internal safety feature to prevent misfires. It contained a 43-gram TNT charge, wrapped with wire for fragmentation. Breda model. 42, a purpose-built anti-tank impact grenade introduced in 1942, weighing about 1,050 grams. OTO model. 42, an incendiary grenade consisting of a glass bottle containing flamethrower fuel and a slightly modified OTO mod 35 fuse mechanism. It was used by tank hunter units. Type L grenade. An anti-tank impact grenade introduced in 1940, it was essentially a large container of TNT, 1,500 grams, with an OTO mod, 35 fuse, and a throwing handle attached. P-bomb, Pazzalia bomba. An improvised anti-tank weapon made by placing a block of explosive, 1 kilogram or 2 kilograms, and an OTO mod, 35 grenade into a metal pipe. Other variants, smoke grenades, variants of the Breda, OTO, and SRCM mod. 35 were produced with smoke fillers designated with an F, fumigena. Breda Model 40 stick grenade, a variant of the Mod 35 attached to a stick for increased throwing range. Note that some German grenades, such as the Model 24 and Model 43 Stielhandgranate, may have been used by Italian forces after the 1943 armistice, especially within collaborationist units or those fighting alongside the Germans. Next up, France. The French army mostly used the F1 model, 1915, the iconic pineapple-style defensive grenade, mass-produced since World War I. It had a cast-iron, segmented body designed for fragmentation and used various fuses, notably the M1916 Belin or the M1935 time-based fuse during World War II. France also used the offensive model 1915 and 1937 grenades. These were offensive grenades made of thin sheet metal or aluminum, designed for a high explosive blast rather than fragmentation, making it safer for use in close combat. The Model 1937 was an updated version used widely in World War II. Grenade Defensive Model 1937, a defensive version of the Model 1937, visually similar to the OF-37, but with a solid body and designed for fragmentation. Other older models, such as the Citron Fugue Model 1916, Ball Grenade Mod 1914, and Percussion Grenade P1, were likely still in service or reserve stocks at the outbreak of the war. The Grenade Fumigène Suffocante Model 1916, suffocating smoke grenade. After 1940, the Free French Forces and Resistance used significant quantities of British Mills bomb and American grenades. Next up, let's cover Russia or the Soviet Union. The Bolsheviks used the F1 known as the Limonka or Lemon. This was a defensive fragmentation grenade based on the French F1 grenade design, and it was widely produced and used throughout the war. Next, the Soviets also used the RG-41, an offensive fragmentation hand grenade with a 5-meter kill radius. RG-42 introduced in 1942 as a simpler-to-manufacture replacement for the RGD-33. This was also an offensive frag grenade. RGD-33A dual-purpose offensive and defensive, with a removable fragmentation sleeve stick grenade designed in 1933. It was complex to produce and was largely replaced by the RG-42, but remained in service with some units, such as naval infantry. The Russians also used the Model 1914 grenade, an older Russian Empire fragmentation grenade that saw limited use in the early stages of World War II. Anti-tank grenades, RPG-40 and 41. Early high-explosive anti-tank stick grenades, effective against armor up to 20 millimeters. RPG-43 was an improved anti-tank hand grenade that used a shaped charge called a HEAT warhead, introduced in 1943, capable of penetrating up to 75 millimeters of armor. RPG-6 was an even further improved anti-tank shaped charge grenade that succeeded the RPG-43 and was effective against up to 100 millimeters of armor. Other RDG-2 and RGD-1 and S. Various models of smoke grenades. M1917 chemical grenade. A chemical stick hand grenade. Okay, that brings us to Poland. Polish used many grenades left over from World War I, as well as Soviet or captured German models. Defensive grenade WZ-33 was a fragmentation grenade with a specific fuse system called the GR-31. Offensive grenade WZ-33. This was an offensive variant of the WZ-33 design. Defensive grenade WZ-24, an earlier defensive model. Offensive grenade WZ-24, an offensive version of the WZ-24. Next, the Polish also used their WZ-17-1, a Polish copy of the German M17 egg grenade, using the AC-23 fuse. Poland's resistance, also called underground or home army, used improvised grenades. The ET-38 was an early Polish anti-tank grenade that formed the basis for resistance designs. ETWZ-40, nicknamed the Filipinka or Perelka, a fragmentation grenade produced by the Home Army based on the ET-38, known for its distinctive shape. RWZ-42, Sidolovka, a highly successful fragmentation grenade using Sidol, a metal cleaner bottle as casings, with a friction primer and 4.5-second delay. Granat Karbidovka, another improvised device, possibly using carbide, showing diverse resistance ingenuity. Next is China. The Chinese military used a variety of grenades, primarily domestically produced copies and variations of foreign designs, along with captured enemy and some Allied-supplied munitions. The primary grenades used were the Chinese Stielhandgranate, or stick grenade. This was the main type of grenade used by Chinese forces throughout the war. It was a local copy based on the German Model 1924 grenade, produced in vast numbers by both government arsenals and local workshops. Variations existed in size and explosive mix, but all followed the basic wooden handle design. In 1939, a standardized, more powerful design with a shorter handle was introduced as the new standard, ponytail grenade, an impact grenade produced by the Jinling arsenal, which featured a long hemp tail to ensure it landed head first, facilitating detonation upon impact. Type 23 grenade, A simple cast metal grenade adopted in 1934 that could be used as a hand grenade or easily converted into a booby trap. Type 28 rifle grenade. This grenade was part of a system that could be launched from a Mauser type or Hanyang 88 rifle, but it could also be thrown by hand as a standard grenade. Type 27 grenade. For discharger. A 50mm projectile, primarily designed for the Type 27 grenade discharger, a simplified copy of the Japanese Type 89, though it was essentially a copy of the Japanese Type 91 grenade and could potentially be used as a large hand grenade. China also produced copies of the Mills bomb. Some regional machine shops produced local copies of the British Mills bomb fragmentation grenade. The Chinese also used captured or foreign grenades. They utilized captured Japanese grenades, such as the Type 97 and Type 98 grenades, and some U.S. supplied Mk2 pineapple grenades, particularly in the later stages of the war and during the subsequent Civil War. Next up, let's talk the grenades of Finland during World War II. The Finnish used Soviet, French, German, and British grenades as well as their own. Domestically produced Finnish grenades. M32. M32 Munikasikranaati was an egg hand grenade. A smaller egg-shaped grenade, often referred to colloquially as the M39, featuring a friction igniter system. Varsikasikranaati was Finland's stick-hand grenade. This was the most common Finnish grenade during the Winter War. It was an offensive grenade with a fragmentation body and a long wooden handle containing a friction-activated time delay fuse, similar to the German steel hand granata design. M41 Sirpalekranaati was a fragmentation grenade for defensive use with a two-piece cast body. It had a percussion-type fuse that required striking on a hard surface to ignite the delay element before throwing. Incendiary grenades. The world-famous Molotov cocktail was named by the Finns, sarcastically naming them after Soviet Foreign Minister Molotov, who claimed his bombs were food aid. Finland even mass-produced Molotov cocktails, but they also saw widespread use by other resistance fighters, German Home Guard, and even Soviets, highlighting their simplicity and effectiveness against early tanks. Finland also used smoke hand grenades. The Finns used several smoke grenade designs, including the MPM, the M42F, and the M43 stick smoke hand grenade, used for creating smoke screens. Satchel Charges or Kasapanos. These were not traditional grenades, but rather factory-made or field-improvised charges of TNT. 2 kilogram, 3 kilogram, and 4 kilogram versions were mass-produced with a stick grenade handle and fuse system attached for use as powerful anti-tank or anti-fortification weapons. Okay, so next up let's do Spain. The Spanish did produce grenades during WWII and even sent troops to help Germany, and mostly sided with the Axis. Even though officially remaining neutral because of their recent civil war, they were left too weak. First up, the Spanish copied a French WWII design, the Pétard Tavenot, to create their own Lafitte grenade. This was a fragless offensive grenade to allow the user to get close to enemy without being injured by fragmentation. The Spain also made its own grenades called PO1, 2, and 3. These were dual-purpose, both offensive and defensive grenades, as they were high explosive. The PO3 had a frag sleeve. The PO3 hand grenade is the POI incorporating an internal fragmentation liner. The PO3's normal application is in the offensive role, but it can be transformed into a defensive hand grenade by the addition of a metal coil. Next up is Czechoslovakia. The Czechoslovaks made their own grenades until Germany took over to make their own. After that, the Allies gave them grenades. VZ-34, a simple frag grenade, OUGVZ-34. This grenade was the first impact fuse design fielded by any country, and is aptly nicknamed the mother of all impact types. The basic design and fuse type were copied throughout Europe. VZ-21, an offensive grenade. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed watching. Let me know what you think about the video, leave a comment, and subscribe right now. Go. Do it and ring that bell ring. The ding ding dong.